Hello everyone and welcome to Takagi-san Season 3 First Impressions Episode 3. That sounds weird, doesn't it? The word 3 used twice in a single sentence. I could have called it Episode the Third or Episode Sun, but if I were so inclined to go against formula, I would have come up with a better name for this series by now. So first things first, High Dive finally fixed the OP. And while we're on the OP, there's something I've just now picked up on that I would like to mention here. Does anyone else find this shot of Nishikata putting Takagi's hat back on kind of affectionate? At least by Nishikata's standards? I don't know, I feel like the more in-character thing to do would be to hand the hat back. I'm going to indulge in a theory here. Given that these two are wearing summer clothes and the summer part of the show is coming to an end, perhaps the show will circle back to summer in this year-long story that the trailer suggested. Perhaps by this part of the story, the two will be close enough that this is precisely the kind of thing we can see Nishikata doing. I like making theories like this. Best case scenario, I call something amazing and get to brag about it. Worst case scenario, it adds an extra 30 seconds to my mistakes compilation. So it's basically a win-win. I'm starting to get a sense that Takagi-san episodes are opening with less substantial content and making their way to the better stuff as the episode continues. That's not to say that Fan, a story adapted from the manga's 86th chapter, is mediocre. It's just not as substantial as the other stories in this episode. I don't like the effect they used for the fanning itself, but I do like that the trick Takagi plays here is actually something that people would fall for. I also like that this story has a little bit of everything. A competition, a scheme, some mild flirtation, and hints that these two are more than mere rivals. It's the kind of segment you would show to a newcomer who wants to understand the vibe and structure of the show. Next, we get an adaptation of the manga's 104th chapter, Demon Pitch, this time translated to Bewilderball. Speaking of bewilderment, I'm a little bewildered that the show deems it necessary to show us a flashback of Takagi walking by the classroom when Nishikata is putting the pieces together. Since this is the only instance of a potential problem, I'm not going to talk about what it is or why it worries me, but I'll let you know if it comes up again. Other than that, the story is pretty good. Takagi speaking English is cute, Nishikata's imagination of this game is pretty entertaining and pokes fun at particular sports anime, and the ending is also pretty solid, with Takagi admitting that she wants to know everything about Nishikata. The fact that he doesn't consider this a teasing attempt tells me that he is probably growing out of that delusion, which is exciting. The B-plot story was surprisingly solid this episode. Not as good as After School or Tailing, and it's still the episode's low point, but something about the organic hijinks brought to the table was endearing and entertaining. Perhaps this story contains a formula for making the B-plot trio-centric stories more enjoyable. Following the tradition set up by Episode 2, Episode 3 saves the best for last. Rain, based on the manga's 120th chapter, is absolutely brilliant. It's ultimately all about Nishikata deciding between pursuing his own happiness or the potential happiness of Takagi. The anime special Nishikata wants to watch doesn't really matter. It could have been just about anything. What matters is that it represents the thing that would make him happy at that moment. The fact that he sacrifices that happiness over the chance that Takagi might be stranded at school says a lot about him. His childish, immature side tells him that it's okay, that she probably brought an umbrella and is probably fine. And in an earlier season, he might have accepted that. But this is Season 3. This has happened after the summer festival. His more mature side shines through as he realizes that his chance to watch an anime is not worth potentially leaving Takagi stranded. The story only gets better from there with the obstacles that Nishikata faces in the following scene and how they are not unlike obstacles that he has faced before. The fact that he offers for Takagi to share his umbrella only makes sense in a story that takes place after the events of Invitation and Promises. And Takagi is so surprised to see him. She did not imagine that he would be at a place in his emotional growth to choose her over an anime he wanted to watch. Usually such a leap forward for Nishikata would lead to a proper critical hit. We see some signs of that, mainly the blushing and the expression that Takagi dons when Nishikata first enters the room, but Takagi has grown as well. Nishikata can't catch her off guard so easily. I believe that there will be a critical hit moment in this season, but this tells us that it's going to have to be something big. The conversation afterwards is pretty spectacular too, with Nishikata agreeing to share his umbrella with Takagi again should she need it, and the line the showrunners added about Takagi saying that she wants to know everything about Nishikata, which is exceptionally brilliant after Bewilderball. This last section got a little analytical, didn't it? The show hasn't given me this much of an urge to analyse early since Summer Festival, but Rain is just that good. The fact that a story from episode 3 has got me breaking my own rules is a pretty good sign for things to come. And you'd better believe that when the whole season is out, there's going to be a lot more to say about this story. And that's all for this first impressions video. I'd like to thank my patrons, Orion Tran, Lars Espen, Data52, Jaman5, Lemon Shark, Pixcalibur, Alberto Cruz, Tyler Bennett, Tenka, Jeremy Pashik, Fireclaw, Soren, Christopher Wang, Will, and Jizoiwa. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.